Happy Saturday. It's still gloomy and gray and what have you, and it's not cold out, but it's so wet and damp that when I go in and the air conditioning is blasting, it's gonna be cold. So I'm wearing this little sweatshirt and shorts. Anyways, one thing I was reading last night, I was reading an article. You guys know how I made that video a while ago about Zoom dysmorphia, how there's an uptick in cosmetic procedures to the lower half of the face due to people seeing themselves over and over again in unflattering lighting on Zoom calls as a result of the pandemic. Well, another thing that is arising is people don't want to go out in public without their mask because they are not confident in the way they look, which I think is another kind of strange phenomenon. But here we've had mask mandates lifted for a while, and now, you know, if you're vaccinated you don't have to wear a mask, but they still have, none of the businesses have really accepted that, and they're still requiring masks. So everybody in stores and places pretty much wears a mask. But yeah, I just thought it was interesting that people would want to keep their face covered because of not feeling confident in themselves. But I do think we are going to, here in the US, have more, it will be socially acceptable to wear masks. Like, for example, if you're sick, definitely in physicians' offices, you're gonna see masking for sure from here on out, like during cold and flu season, because you know, now it's just a lot more acceptable. And it's interesting because, what was it, two or 3 years ago, I was sharing with you guys the UPF 50 face shield as an option for people who are dealing with melasma. Because with melasma, or polymorphous light eruption even, those photosensitive diseases, sunscreen is really just not enough, frankly. And, you know, you've got the component of not only UVA, which sunscreens are only so good at blocking out, but also the visible light. And for people with those issues, I mean, they do the sunscreen, it's helpful, but it's not enough, especially polymorphous light eruption. Anyways, back then I was sharing with you guys the Coolie Bar face mask and as an option, and I got a slew of comments about how it was like fanatical, and you know, that I distinctly remember a comment, somebody was like, you're gonna scare people wearing a mask. That's gonna scare people. And now people are scared not to have their face covered. It's just an interesting flip of the switch. But yeah, that UPF face shield is great for sun protection, but it doesn't offer the kind of protection for preventing transmission of cold and flu viruses. I mean, you know, covering your face will offer that, but not like a mask. But yeah, that mask is good though for sun protection, especially if you run outside. I wore it on a half marathon, and I also had on a baseball cap. And the nice thing about it is it protects the back of your neck too. Yeah, it's really good. I highly recommend it. I'll link it down below. We're here again where we always are, the same time, same place. I do the same things over and over again. What is this kid doing? There's a child standing there pouring bottled water onto his hands. It's just kind of unusual. Now he's drinking the water. He doesn't look old enough to be there by himself, but he kind of looks like he's waiting for somebody to pick him up. Now I'm invested, but I have to move forward. So I mentioned this the other day about how I've noticed there are fewer lizards. I mean, like, I haven't seen a single lizard, and typically they are like everywhere. They're like seagulls at the beach. They're everywhere. But since the freeze, I have not seen a single one. But you know what has come out of the woodwork? probably because the lizards are gone. Roly-polies, they are everywhere. I mean, when I go out to sweep my little balcony, there are tons of roly-polies in full force. And I guess that's because of that freeze that we had. It skewed the population of wildlife. I'm hopeful that that means I don't know what that's going to mean for the roach population. I haven't seen any roaches lately. They're inevitable. You can't go completely roach free. Eventually they'll appear, one or two, but knock on glass, I've not had a roach problem since living here. I mean, I've seen a few of them here and there, but I haven't had a roach problem in my living space. Yeah, roaches are problematic. Yeah, over the past 20 years, we've definitely seen a shift in arthropod-borne diseases, like where they arise from. I just think that's interesting. Population are now being affected by certain things because of just changes in the ecosystem. Like a lot of mosquito-borne illnesses, for example. And now that we had that freeze here, it's just going to be interesting to kind of see the downstream effect of that kind of thing. I wonder if we'll ever have that again. Hopefully not, because we were not equipped for that whatsoever. I lucked out, you guys. I don't know how I got so lucky I did not experience a single glitch. Had power, water, ever. I feel guilty that I was not impacted because so many people's homes were devastated and all sorts of things. Same thing when we had Harvey. I was not affected by Harvey either, but a lot of people were. You have to be careful. If you are considering moving to Houston, check the floodplain before you buy a house, for sure. And they update the floodplain maps, I've heard, but yeah. Because here's the thing, if it looks too good to be true, it probably is. There is a reason why some houses are just seemingly priced so low. Yeah, be careful. You get what you pay for in life sometimes. Do your research. I'm joking. Well, I mean, you should do your research, but I mean, don't do your research by Googling stuff. Although I'm sure you have to Google floodplain map to get to it. We are wed to the internet, but carefully do your research and vet things. I feel as though realtors are in the know on this, and they should be pretty transparent about that. Like, is this a floodplain? Is it not? Comment below. Those of you who, I feel as though some of you are realtors in the Houston area. Do you how do those areas sell? Like, does the client know going in that they're buying in a floodplain? Like, is it obvious to them? Is it something that you know and you're like, are you sure you want to buy this? Or, yeah, how does that work? I'm curious to know, because I see certain homes for sale and they stay on the market for a long time, and then the price kind of creeps down and they just seem to sit there. So obviously people know that they're in a bad area, flood wise. You should also get flood insurance here, I've been told. Anyways, this is just some home ownership tips from somebody who has never owned a home. So don't take advice from me. It's like, why would you take financial advice from somebody who is broke? Don't do it. But you would be surprised. People do all the time, because people are always giving out unsolicited advice. I say, as I just give out unsolicited advice on home buying here, no experience. People are just always, sharing their opinion and giving out unsolicited advice, health advice, what have you. And it's like, yeah, where are your millions exactly? Big Joe the pool pet. Giant frog. He is UV and mildew resistant. $30. I don't know. It seems like a lot to cough up for a non-moldy frog. Whoa, check out these bougie maraschino cherries. $30 for the 2 of them. I think these would be technically vegan because most maraschino cherries have like carmine in them, which is from bugs. This says natural color. Mystery. Splashing in a little white vinegar here into this water because... Are you ready for this? Are you excited? Are you sitting on the edge of your seat? It's strawberry season. And so I'm going to share with you guys this strawberry chia dessert that I make and have been jiving on because I got these last weekend. And you'll thank me for sharing this with you. First of all, I'm just going to wash them because they have a lot of dirt. Look how big these bad boys are. They're probably, I don't know, GMO or something. GMO strawberries. Anyways, yeah, currently on Ibotta you can get a rebate for strawberries, which I don't even need a rebate to buy strawberries. They are one of my favorites. But you had to buy 2 containers, which I did. So I'm just gonna go ahead and soak both of these. Doing this will blow your mind because it makes them last a really long time. Oh wow, I rhymed. Well, I'm going to show you. First and foremost though, washing them as soon as you get them home in the solution of white vinegar and water will also make them last longer. Alright, so they've been soaking. I just put on one of these antibacterial gloves because I don't like to get my hands in the vinegar water. It's irritating. Anyways, just gonna put these in a strainer so that the extra water drizzles off. Isn't that grody? All that dirt that comes off? Yeah, like I said, it's pretty gratifying. All right, so I'm gonna take these over to my blender and I'll show you guys how simple this is. All right, so I've got most of the strawberries in there. I'm just gonna put a little bit of lemon juice. And yes, you put the strawberries in with the tops because you're just gonna blend everything up and you don't taste them whatsoever. All right, and then you're gonna do 1/4 cup of chia seeds. Roughly a tablespoon of, this is arrowroot starch. Just helps thicken it up. Pyrex here. We'll do the bowl one. And yeah, you just let this thicken up in the fridge and you can scoop it out into bowls and it tastes really good, really good. All right, so I just cracked into a jar of this cocoa. Look how rich it is. It's so good, but I'm gonna take it and top it on my strawberry chia. And it's tart like yogurt, because it is yogurt. And mixed with the strawberry chia, it's like, gives you the strawberry cheesecake kind of vibes. It's so good. Yeah, this stuff is delicious. It's really thick. Highly recommend this. Cocoa. Yeah, another runzo in the books. Tonight I rehydrated with the Ultima. This time I used a grape flavor. It was pretty good. Those Ultima drink sticks, they're pretty good. On iHerb, I sometimes get the hydration up sticks. Those are also really good. But sometimes I look at those, what are they called? this little squeezy bottle flavor packet, not packets, you know what I'm talking about, like Mio. Are those good? I look at them sometimes like maybe I should get those since I like to have the electrolyte sticks, but I never do because sometimes my skin around my mouth gets irritated by stuff that has like a lot of propylene glycol in it. Skincare products not so much, but like food things that have propylene glycol will often aggravate like eczema around my mouth, I noticed. So I've stayed away from them, but sometimes I am tempted to try them. Some of the flavors look good. Anyways, speaking of flavored water, I was influenced by influencers on Instagram who are promoting this water drop product. It's these little pods that you put in a bottle of water, and somebody on Instagram had a code, so I decided to try them out. I got this variety pack: Boost, Youth, Glow, and Zen. I don't think they have any sugar. I think they're like zero calories, zero sugar. Maybe they have stevia in them if I remember the person story is correct. Yeah, I think she said they had stevia in them. Anyways, I look forward to trying those. I wonder if this is peachy. Looks like it is. The other day when I was in Tuesday morning, I saw they had more of these yoga mats like I have. I don't remember if I pointed it out to you guys or not, because sometimes in Tuesday morning they have music on really loud and I can't really film with that because of copyright. But yeah, if you have a Tuesday morning in your area, and you're in the market for a yoga mat, I recommend these Guy ones. They're pretty inexpensive, and I've had this one for a couple of years now. I mean, I don't do like hot yoga or anything on it. I just use it for my little like stretching and whatnot. But yeah, it's called that. Well, hey guys, I just got out of the shower and did my skincare routine, and I wanted to point out I'm gonna actually put this on under my armpits. It is you guys are like, woo, this is what we tuned in for. What is Dr. Dray gonna put on her armpits? But this, as many of you know, is one of my favorite antiperspirants by Vanity Cream. It is, it's good. And if you're new here, the way to do antiperspirants, which have aluminum salts in them that trickle down into the eccrine sweat gland, the way to use them is at nighttime, because the rate of sweat output is less at nighttime than during the day. Plus you don't have, you know, you're lying down asleep or whatever, you don't have as many frictional forces to rub the antiperspirant off. That gives it time to the aluminum salt to trickle down into the eccrine sweat gland, and then it'll involute and you'll have less output of sweat long term. Body odor is the result of the breakdown of sweat on the skin from the bacteria that live in your armpit. So another way to reduce body odor beyond just doing the antiperspirant at nighttime is to wash your armpits with either a benzoyl peroxide wash or Hibiclens, chlorhexidine. That is another one. You can get that at the drugstore. Both of those, by the way, are great options for people to use if you have that miserable condition to live with, hidradenitis suppurativa, where you get those painful boils. But anyways, one thing I wanted to point out about this, speaking of hidradenitis, frequently the aluminum salts can be irritating on the skin, and for people with hidradenitis suppurativa, they can actually aggravate the HS. So it's a delicate balance. Both sweat on the skin and HS can aggravate that condition, and then the antiperspirants can aggravate it. So one thing that you can try to do with antiperspirant, like I said, wear it at nighttime, but the following morning you can wipe off any that's left on the surface of the skin with a damp cloth. Just wipe it off. You don't need to leave it on, because presumably the salts have trickled down into your eccrine sweat gland. Whatever is left on the surface of the skin is only going to cause irritation at that point. Now for me, I've never had any irritation with aluminum antiperspirants, but you can see how if you've got any left on the surface of the skin and you're sensitive to it or easily aggravated by it, then it's just gonna sit there. You start sweating, plus you've got friction, you're kind of basically just rubbing that aluminum salt back and forth and causing irritation. Coupled with the fact that many antiperspirants, Vanity Cream excluded, and Almay's got a fragrance-free one. Many antiperspirants have fragrance in them, which can be definitely a source of problems in antiperspirants for sure. In fact, fragrance and antiperspirants has been known to cause hyperpigmentation in the armpits. So all that being said, this is a go-to recommendation for an antiperspirant. I kind of wish they made this in a spray form, because personally I really like the spray on deodorant. Does anybody else? That kind of like cooling sensation I really enjoy. But I love this, and I also like the Almay fragrance-free one. Those are really good. But if you are not bothered by fragrance, it's not causing any problems for you, Secret has some really good aluminum-based antiperspirant. There's like the Secret clinical one. That one's really good. Unfortunately, it does have fragrance, but yeah, I mean, it can be kind of hard to, avoid fragrance altogether. I'm not like, you know, I don't believe that you should like stay up at night trying to go completely fragrance-free, because it can be challenging. But antiperspirant is one such situation where if you have a lot of problems in the armpit, definitely go fragrance-free for a while and try these tips about how to use the antiperspirant at nighttime and then wiping it off. For me personally, I actually, like, I'm using this now, but I only end up using antiperspirant for like a few months a year, and then I don't really end up using it that much. Like, I don't know, my sweat glands involute, and I don't deal much with sweating. But honestly, here in Houston, if you have to be outside for any amount of time, you will end up sweating a lot. So I actually end up minimizing the amount of time I'm outside, especially in the summer. I do whatever I can not to go outside. It's not because I'm fearful of the outdoors. It is just very humid and hot here, and it actually can be dangerously hot here. So I mean, most people who live here are the same way. I'm not, you know, I feel as though most people, even natives who have been here forever, they're not like, it's July, everybody, let's go hang outside for, you know, let's go outside. I mean, some people have to be outside for their job, but even in those situations, it's like, whoo, definitely take your electrolytes, because you're going to be sweating a lot. Anyways, so I try and keep my body as cool as possible by staying in the AC here. And then once summer is over, it still can be hot into October, but it's not like that boiling heat. So I really end up relying on the antiperspirants mostly in the summer months to get me basically through whatever amount of time I am outdoors, like just by scooting in and out. Anyways, you're like, this is way too much sharing, Dr. Dray, about your armpits, but if it can help you guys out, I will share on. Anyways, you know, earlier in today's vlog, I was chatting with you guys about how a lot of people are like, have trepidation about taking the mask off because they are, you know, they don't want to show their face, not because of, you know, infectious disease transmission type thing, but they're actually feeling self-conscious about the way they look. And it just got me thinking, you know, how many things in life do we hold back on because of insecurities about our physical appearance, or like not being enough, or not being ready enough, not having enough experience. You just hold back so many opportunities. You should just go for it in life. You really should. I mean, with anything, you shouldn't fear that people are going to judge you, because so what if they do? So what if they do, you know? You really should not hold yourself back from opportunities because you're afraid of being judged. That, you know, obviously there are, again, nuance to everything. Don't go running down the street buck naked. That is definitely not okay to do. I mean, unless you live in a nudist colony, then by all means, but like, yeah, don't go running around nude. Like, you definitely should exercise some caution, but like, seriously, holding yourself back because of either fear of what people will think about you or fear of failure, you are limiting yourself too much if you do that. And it's a shame. I'm guilty of it myself. There are certain things that I probably just like, you know, kind of believe about myself that are not true. Like, for example, I can't do a pull-up or a chin-up, and I just kind of believe that is not my fate in life, to do a pull-up or a chin-up. I've never been able to do them. I just kind of dangle there like a wet noodle. But truthfully, I've never put in the work to do it, and I'm sure if I did, I could. And I'd probably fail a bazillion times, but that's okay. It'd be okay if I failed over and over and over again. Eventually, I would get it right, I think. I believe that. You kind of have to believe in yourself. But you have to put the work in, which I'm not willing to do. So I'll just hang on to the false fixed belief that I'm not destined to do a chin-up or a pull-up. Anyways, guys, thank you for making it to the end of the vlog. I hope you had a fantastic weekend. And if you liked this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends. And as always, don't forget, sunscreen and subscribe. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.